Hello everyone, my name is Li Fang and this is going to be my presentation on anodizing. So to start off, what is anodizing? To put it simply, it is a type of metallic coating that you can find on many objects that we artists love to draw, like jet fighters, skyscrapers, or killer robots. Okay, maybe that one just me. Look into science fiction movies and concept art. You will often get the unmistakable feeling that something feels like it was designed by an engineer, as opposed to, say, a car designer from the 60s. So how do we get the illusion that our spaceship is more real? We can start by understanding why real airplanes look the way they do with a hard anodized plating. Anodizing is simply the process of forcing a metallic surface to grow a thin layer of chemical rust. The process goes something like this. First, the metallic parts are polished and cleaned after being machined. Then, they are submerged into a bath of electrolytic acid, and a powerful electrical current is run through it. This will trigger the uniform anodic growth on the surface of the metal. Finally, the coating is treated with heat in order to seal off the porous surface. By now, you might be wondering why I would bother with such a complicated process for a glorified paint job. Well, the sound suppressor will rise to a temperature of 700 degrees in less than 2 seconds. And the nozzle on this F-22 can go as high as 1700 degrees and as low as negative 70 degrees. Any regular paint job would flake off from the extreme thermal stress. And even resilient coatings such as titanium nitride will oxidize at very high temperatures, so that anodizing is really the only choice. Almost all commercial metallic alloys can be anodized and will benefit from it. The coating is really thin, but it's harder than the highest grade of steel, extremely resilient to corrosion, physical stress, and act as an electrical insulator. For these reasons, this process is part of the designs of some of the longest-lasting icons of our technological achievements. So now, how do we use this knowledge to render this material in a convincing fashion? First off, because the only light that reflects off of the surface is the small amount that makes it through the coating and all the way down to the metal underneath, you will never really see a shiny highlight, but rather you will have a large and diffuse specular reflection. Secondly, because the coating itself is matte and only very slightly translucent, all reflections will be blurred and will carry very little information. And lastly, despite being much less noticeable, the reflections still obey the anisotropic or isotropic properties of the metal it resides on. This will depend on whether that part was brushed, pressed, cast, or machined. This also means that even though we may know more about how to make our killer robots look real, we'll still have to go out there and make reference. And this concludes my presentation on anodizing. I hope that it was not excessively boring and that you could learn something new and useful. Thank you for watching.